Hi, my friends, and welcome back to the Sussex Daily News version 2 YouTube channel. This video, we give you a piece of breaking news. Prince Harry pays the price as lost title is close to his heart for meddling in the U.S. election. Prince Harry had to step down as Captain General of the Royal Marines when he officially quit as senior royal at the end of March. The loss of his military titles was reportedly devastating for the Duke, and it has now emerged the palace is not looking to reinstate Harry's titles at the end of his 12-month review. But he crossed a line when he openly discussed U.S. politics in a recent video, which is why the Duke will not be reinstated as head of the Royal Marines, it is claimed. Harry has blindly followed his commander, Meghan's instructions, turned his back on his country, and worse, stabbed his grandmother and the British royal family in the back with a metaphorical dagger. A source revealed, "You cannot have a loose cannon in responsible positions. It seems it is all a game to him, and he can do as he wishes, so he thinks." Prince William is set to replace his younger brother as the new head of the Royal Marines. Her Majesty is no fool, that's a fact, and Meghan has seriously underestimated our Queen. Harry should be ashamed and deserves to lose his military titles, and both him and his trollop should have all the titles, patronages, privileges, etc. removed. The move, confirmed by senior Royal Navy sources last night, anticipates the outcome of Prince Harry's 12-month review will find, quote, no reason to alter our current arrangements. Interestingly, a royal expert has said the Duke's recent comments on the upcoming U.S. presidential election may have contributed to the status quo. Commenting on plans for Prince William to become the new Captain General of the Royal Marines, Richard Palmer, royal correspondent at the Daily Express, said, quote, the headline in the paper doesn't mention Harry, but it will undoubtedly be a blow to him if this happens. The Sussex's intervention in the U.S. presidential election, no matter how carefully worded, was deemed by palace officials to have crossed a line. It's likely to have effects. Indeed, the Sussexes and many others think they're battling with the Queen, when in fact they've picked a fight with the legal structure of the British Parliament. The Palace Legal Office tried to warn them, but they ignored it. The consequences will kick in. That's why Harry is dumb, ignorant of the whole legal and political reality of constitutional monarchy. This was an interesting comment on another site I follow. It's speculated that Her Majesty is stripping titles one by one, so in kind of effect a drip feed, rather than removing them all in one hit. This could cleverly mean the quiet removal of each title will inflict embarrassment and devastation to the toxic twosome, but without the sensationalism that would give them the mileage to whinge and play the poor us victims. Last month, Meghan and Harry appeared in a video in which they seemingly endorsed Joe Biden to win November's presidential election. In March, just before his move to Canada, he reportedly told the Commandant General of the Royal Marines, Matthew Holmes, that he was, quote, devastated that I am having to step down, adding, I feel I'm letting people down, but I had no choice. But, an insider said, Harry was handed the title Captain General Royal Marines, held by 3 kings and Prince Philip. Diana would be appalled at how readily Harry discarded this title. Harry did little for the Royal Marines, but touted his faux medals and wore the green beret, which he publicly admitted he never did work to earn. Then there was the Deal Remembrance for Fallen Soldiers, which Harry didn't attend because he was selling his wife to Disney. Bet the military in the UK is darn glad to see the back of him. What an embarrassment. The source told the Sunday Express, quote, the Corps is, in effect, without a Captain General, and we really must get on and fill this role, said the source last night. The decision has been made to invite Prince William to take over this important duty, largely on the basis that the Duke of Sussex has given no reason to believe that he will alter his current arrangements. Quite opposite, in fact. However, a fan explains, I don't think there was anything said about not using it outside the household. In fact, It was confirmed twice that he was styled as HRH. And yes, I'm well aware that the Duchess used it informally in their household. One of the main reasons why they left him as a royal duke is because they didn't want to have the ability to speak out in the House of Lords, which he could have done if he was just a regular duke. They also didn't want to have him have the opportunity to run for Parliament, something he could have done if all titles and styles had been stripped. The only thing keeping him out of the country was the threat to stop paying his allowance if he returned without an invitation. If he'd been willing to give that up, they could have returned any time, and there isn't much they could have done about it. The Windsors were always pleading poverty, even although I don't think they were exactly poverty-stricken, so they weren't willing to do anything that would jeopardize their cash inflow. Another added, Edward was blocked from using his HRH outside the household. It's common knowledge that they both used HRH inside their household ruthlessly and with a vengeance. It became the pivot of meaning for their whole social lives, which they never relinquished. Their dukedom was meant as a sap to keep them quiet, but they remained a thorn in the side for both the royal family and Parliament their whole lives, always trying to agitate. Another concluded, "Are you saying Harry is worthy? He was never worthy. He was allowed to play pretend, and his repeated bad behavior was covered up for the pure reason he is HRH. So sad. He wore the beret, which was dress up, and a slap in the face to all the great men you worked hard for the esteemed honor. Now you're going to say he was responsible for the Invictus Games? It was a PR move. Read the founders of IG's thoughts. Harry is and was a fraud." And in other news, Victoria Beckham urges Meghan Markle to shut down critics by showing the real her. Victoria Beckham is said to be so close to the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, that the two often trade wisdom, with the former encouraging the latter to share more of her private life. Victoria Beckham is encouraging Meghan Markle to show more of her and Prince Harry's private life, reports say. Insiders say this is because, quote, Victoria has always benefited from showing the public the real her. They added that this is because Victoria's been able to display her dry sense of humor and geniality, like in 2007's Coming to America and Victoria's Secret and Being Victoria Beckham back in 2000. Meghan and Harry, who tied the knot in 2017, announced early this year their intention to step back from their roles as senior royals. The move, which, defended by some, has drawn heavy criticism from others, including high-profile figures such as Piers Morgan. They've since moved to California and been surrounded by a flurry of speculation about their next career move. Now, insiders have told Closer that Victoria wants Meghan to show the public her down-to-earth nature. She's urged Meghan to shut down the critics, they told, and prove her authenticity by showing the side only her loved ones get to see and reveal the real her. She's also told people it could make people think twice about attacking her and tug on their heartstrings by showing the public how deeply the backlash affects her and Harry on an emotional level. They added, Vic and David know how different it is to move to a new country and all the uncertainties and anxieties that Harry will no doubt be facing. So that's something they've bonded over too. Posh and David were guests at Meghan and Harry's Windsor wedding, and it's rumored that they're looking to repay the favor with the eldest lad Brooklyn's upcoming nuptials. And you? Do you believe this information is true or just another PR trick? Leave your comments in the comments and everyone can talk about them. Also, don't forget to like and share my videos to anyone you want. Plus, subscribe to our Sussex Daily News channel to get even more cool videos. Now goodbye and have a good night.